My name is Maxine Mimms, and I live in Shelton, Washington. I've been there since 1972. However, I've been in the state of Washington since 1953, and it's just a pleasure to be with you to share some intimate moments about myself today. And I have some friends gathered here in the studio to also join in, if you wish. I have Bishop Forrest. Introduce yourself, please.
Wow. I'm Kim Forrest, pastor of the King of Glory Pentecostal Assembly, one of her distant students, and she's always spoken into my life and just didn't get me with the right signatures and everything, but I love her to life, and I just came by just to set eyes on this queen. I wanted to see her, hear her voice, and just look at her beautiful face again. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love you.
Bishop Kim Forrest is a person that I've always admired because of his male fashion. Everything is always matching, and I'm so glad to have this hat on to welcome you into this presence today. Yes.
You're doing the hat.
Thank you so much. And the next person beside me means I'm just, at this particular moment, I'm extremely happy because she's just a young me. And it's just nice to have her. And you introduce yourself, please.
Okay, my name is Geneva Arunga. I go by database on the stage, and I am just here to be in Dr. Mimms' presence and hang out. Maybe we'll go out to the club later, and we'll see you there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm too tired to really go out to a club today. And next to me, introduce yourself, please.
My name is Makada Ibube. I am a movement specialist, also a model in Seattle. And I'm very glad to be here, sitting by the Queen Mother, Dr. Maxine Mimms, and I am here to support her. Thank you.
And that's people that had gathered here today. Right there, please.
My name is Nichols, and I am the Executive Director for the Maxine Mimms Academy, based out of Tacoma, Washington. We are a national 501c3 organization. I'm here to be a part of the celebration of this beautiful queen that we have in our midst, who's 93 years young, and we are here to celebrate all of her accomplishments, all of her love, all of her wisdom, and that hat.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for just being able to just be with me. I have two friends all the way over there. If you want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Parrish Bridges. Actually, I'm a graduate of Evergreen State College as well. And Dr. Mimms, I just adore her and I love her, and I'm just happy to be in her presence.
And my name is Mona Terry. I was here presenting music this afternoon for the special ceremony, and I'm just honored to be in your presence, Dr. Mimms, always.
Thank you. Well, thank you all. And that's me. These people feed into my life and cause me to be. Let me know that I am because I was, and they keep me in the was category so that I can be I am and give. I think you asked me, when did I arrive in this section of the country? 1953. I had fallen in love, got married, and came out here. My husband was recruited by Boeing Airplane Company in the aeronautical business, and that's brought me here. I was with the Seattle Public Schools from 1953 to 1969. All levels of education. I started out at Leschi School, then went to Coleman School, and from there downtown as an administrator. And in 1969, I left to go to work in the Nixon administration as the assistant director of the Women's Bureau under Richard Nixon. And I was there until 1972, and I returned here. Black people, there were a lot of black people here, not a lot, but we were coming in, and most of my students came from the Yesler area, and then the contrast to that were those that were coming in limousines from Lake Washington. Militia is right there at that area. So I had black students that were coming in from Yesler and Jackson, and then mainly white students coming in from Lake Washington. And it was, I mean, the thing I don't like to talk about is the uncomfortable moments. I'm aging, and why should I spend too much of my time trying to remember the uncomfortable moments? I have to bring in the joy of my life then. I have to find those nuggets and keep the joy now if I want to, you know, stay healthy. So the central area was a joy for me. There were wonderful families that I knew, and the children were just marvelous, because I do believe that all black children are geniuses, and that's what I brought with me, and that's what I believe until this day. And knowing that, it brings me great joy, because that's the only way I see people. And so the central area had a lot of memories for me. I had a number of friends, and it was just, and today I don't live there, and I'm not very active in that area anymore, but I was for a while. And I found the creativity wonderful. As the years would go on, you had many, many more creative, talented artists arriving and coming. So I've had a wonderful spirit. The section of this country is so beautiful to me. To have the white mountain, to have the blue, blue, blue skies and the green, green, green trees. That just is just beautiful. Wherever I am, I'm going to build something. If I meet 3 people in half a day, I'm going to build it. That's just who I am. I was born that way. And that's interesting because Mrs. Franklin came in, Mrs. Franklin came in, and she started in 1st grade. I did 3rd, 4th. Were you the portable with me? Were you in the portables? Yes, 4th grade. Yeah, you were in the portable. And did you learn the square dance?
Yeah.
That's right. Because I believe that, you know what, I told you all. And did I go bring those typewriters for you at that time? That's right, yeah.
Your memory's better than mine.
Well, I make sure, because I have to tell stories. I mean, you've got to be able to understand the experience, but tell the story of that and add to that and have the joy of creating images. That's how we're going to wipe out the white man's history. We've got to replace these images that we have in our minds with something else. And I don't care if you make it up. So square dancing was to teach people leadership skills. It's excellent. Following the caller, but also understanding the difference between left, right, all of the element left with your right hand, element left with your right hand. It's a really tricky little experience, but it's geometry, you know. And Doug Wheeler was my 3rd grade student. So I've known the Wheelers for years. Doug was the only one that I had. And the thing that is interesting, Greg, in remembering all of you students, is that I only see those that I was successful with. Those that I wasn't successful with pains me. And I started visiting the prisons to talk to those students that I had failed in terms of my interaction. And that caused me to be a better person, because I had failed them and had neglected my interaction with them somehow. Because in education, you mainly only see your successes. And that's an illusion of how successful you are. Because until we can touch every child and make sure that child is seen as worthy and a success, then we've got a lot of work to do. It's always the same. I'm just trying to see you and think what's different. One is just an older child, that's all. I'm still the learner. My title is always teacher, but it's not that. I'm not a standard teacher. I'm always the learner. I'm always receiving in order to design the elements that will allow intimacy in terms of relationships, academic relationships. And I always want to make sure that experience is such that everybody grows, but I need to do the most growth because I'm the one that is responsible for the words that I put out. I can destroy a child by being insensitive with the vocabulary that I use. And we have to be very, very careful about language in terms of being a learner. If you're a learner and not necessarily a teacher, if the environment is a learning environment, then everybody grows. Everybody is successful and everybody has the joy of the experience. But if you see yourself as the one you're the only one with the knowledge, then you're in for a big letdown. And then you will create an unworthy culture. And it manifests itself like it is manifesting itself. I love black people. That I adore black people. And they're just all up in me. And I will do anything that I can with the skills that I have, that I've been gifted with, to make sure there is a relationship that allows us both to grow. And so Evergreen Tacoma campus started in my kitchen. I was coming in they recruited me to come, and they thought it would be interesting for me to join the faculty in Olympia. And I went to Olympia, and it was completely white, blue hair, purple hair, dogs. I'm a black woman. I have never seen anything like that, and I thought I was in a mental institution. But the model of education was so receptive. And I thought, look at these funny-looking white people receiving this kind of love in order to grow. Because all they have to do is, with this growth, wash their hair out, then they could be in Congress and do nothing for the rest of their life but be there. And I thought, well, I want black people to be like that. I want us to be able to have an intellectual experience under this kind of model. And the model was something called coordinated studies. That's bringing all of the academic disciplines together to solve one problem. Group studies, that's a group of students would get together and decide this is what we want to be taught, and then select the teacher. And then independent studies. I had never heard that put out like that. I wanted to offer that to black people, and that's what I did. And as a result, that's what we had. And I've been very comfortable with the years that I've been participating in this Evergreen experiment. And so this evening was just overwhelming. I to see young people that I've known, their grandchildren and great-grandchildren are coming into this atmosphere. So I don't know, because I don't want to put, I'm certainly, I have the language I can put a definition on, but that would trap me. I don't want, I believe in magic. And I believe that you can touch a person, just can touch them in a kind way, and that can change that kindness. That person can feel that. And I very seldom categorize and classify, and it keeps me free. I stay free from all of the constraints in this society. I don't look at society as something that's done me wrong. I make it do me right. So I make up stories about myself. I make up a story about myself every day.
Well, what's the story that you tell yourself about yourself?
Well, I believe in Once Upon a Time, and my friend Joy Hardiman now has said there was even a period before Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time, and everybody, in order for particularly black people, in order to free themselves from a lot of the constraints and constantly working to be, just become, just be, you know, and make up a nursery rhyme. If you made up a nursery rhyme every day about yourself, and added all the flavor that you should add to that, and called pat yourself and say how deserving you are. And then you can't, and the bishop is here, but you can't believe that you see this white mountain, these green trees, and this blue sky, and that's not the creator. The fifth word in the book of Genesis is created. In the beginning, God created. That's the fifth word. You and me. So if you appreciate that abundance, then the nursery rhyme and the autobiographical nature of who you are frees you from all the constraints. There's some reality, but it frees you from all the constraints. We prefer someone else telling the story. So we're constantly begging to make us feel worthy when we can make ourselves feel worthy. Goldilocks did it. Goldilocks walked through the forest, broke in folks' houses, and they never been charged with a felony. That's a first-degree felony. She broke in their house, ate their food, broke their chairs, and then had a nerve to sleep in their bed. That heifer got in the bed, got on the bear's clean bed. The bears must have had some warm sheets. The bears had some linen sheets, and slept. And we've never discussed that. That gives you, when you know you can go in somebody's house without being invited, eat their food, break a chair, and then go to sleep. That's privilege. All you need in life as a white person is to recognize that story as a privileged human being. I can go anywhere. I can do anything to climate. I can do anything to animals. I can do anything to people. I am a privileged white person. I will never be charged. And the model now is being played out all over in our political system. The Goldilocks model is what this is built on. Goldilocks can do anything she wants. And then Cinderella, don't let me talk about Cinderella and Humpty Dumpty.
Talk about Cinderella.
Yeah.
Here's Cinderella.
What had happened was?
She dreamed up the good witch that got her things together for her to go to the ball.
Fairy godmother.
Here we are, our girls looking for ways, our boys looking for ways to take you to the prom. I'm gonna use the word prom. And they don't have cars. But with this girl, because she's privileged, the fairy car and makes a limousine, a chariot out of rats.
And a pumpkin.
And pumpkins. And she rode to the ball in a rat chariot. And in our communities, rats are eating up our children. We don't turn rats into transportation.
Chauffeurs.
And it forces us to always be struggling. If that's a privilege. You're so privileged that the least insect in all the world, a rat will serve you. A rat will give you transportation to the ball. I mean, come on. You stretch the privilege so far that it's nothing you can feel but confidence. So now this rat-driven, raggedy pumpkin person goes to a ball. I don't know any woman, black woman, in my lifetime who has on beautiful high-heeled shoes will lose a shoe. Drop a shoe off. You're dancing. If you're dancing, why are you hopping around like a rabbit losing shoes? And she left it. And the prince, look how freaky this is. See, all this stuff is freaky. Falls in love with a shoe and goes out to find the foot. The foot. Not the eyes, not the lips, not the glamour, but the foot. Big old corns, bunions for the shoe. And he went through the village checking all them white women and their feet. So every white woman you got in there thinks they got a bunch of good feet. And all the black women are, worried about their bunions and their corns. So, and you'll hear him talk about their ugly feet. Well, of course your feet are ugly if you got a prince walking around with the slipper looking for your foot. There was not, I want to know the shoe size. I want to know if that raggedy woman in that basement, what size did she wear? Nobody's ever told you the size, because that would have helped you out a lot. But if they say she was a size 11 or 12, then we would be able to deal with some reality. But they gotta be maybe 5.5 or 6, so. I mean, none of our nursery rhymes in our privileged versus non-privileged, worthy versus non-worthy society has analyzed our nursery rhymes to see what is considered an image of privilege versus an image of non-privilege. So my role is to come into that classroom as a teacher and to provide the space that our children can become their own nursery rhymes, can autobiographically speak to any situation and walk out with a lot of confidence.
What about you? You have anything you want to talk to her about or have her talk about?
I can sit and listen to Dr. Mimms forever and ever. But I would say this, one of the things that I've gleaned from you in your presence and from a distance is that we're gifted to make a difference. And I've walked away from you with that image and that picture in my mind.
Oh yeah.
That I'm gifted to make a difference.
Yeah.
And a phrase that I've coined is not better than, but better for. When we realize we're gifted to make a difference, we're not better than someone, we are better for someone.
Is it? Thank you. That's wonderful. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.